Hi, KidZone. I'm Mr. Tom.
And today we're going to talk about forgiveness.
Let's talk about Jacob. Now, Jacob and his brother Esau were twins. And they were not friends, which is sad. In fact, one day, Jacob tricked Esau tricked him so badly that Esau got so upset that he decided he was gonna kill him.
Wait, what was the trick?
What was the trick? You know what? If you want to know more about the trick, you can read about that in Genesis chapter 26. We're not talking about that today. Right. And this is important. Esau was not kidding. Like, it wasn't like ooh, I'm gonna make a joke. Oh, I'm so angry, I'm going to kill you. No, he was so angry he was gonna kill him until he was dead.
You can't really do that.
Jacob found out about it, and what he did is he bravely ran away. He ran away to a family that lived in a foreign land. And he lived there for a long time, and he got married, and then he got married again.
Really?
Yeah, it's a different time.
300 times?
No, just twice. And he had lots of kids.
Like 58?
12. And he got super rich. Now, back in the day, being super rich meant having lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of animals. Like, he had lots of goats, and he had lots of sheep, and he had lots of cows. Okay. Then, eventually, the family that he was living near got upset at him. They were all like, well, they thought that he was getting rich by stealing stuff, but he wasn't. He was just getting rich because God was blessing him. So, he didn't know what to do. And then God said, Jacob! And Jacob's like, yo, God! And then God's like, you should go home. Now, imagine you're Jacob. Remember, what does Esau want to do when you get home? Yeah, he wants to kill you, which is scary. Have you ever been in the position where you did something wrong and then you ran away? And then that other person is super mad at you? And then so you try not to be around that person because they're super mad at you and you don't want to deal with it? And you know how there's always that little bit of stress, and sometimes you get like an achy bit in your bottom of your stomach. You ever get that? Where you just your stomach doesn't feel good because you're all scared and don't feel good? And it was like that. And now imagine that for years. Right? So bad. Now,
I've only been alive for 6 years.
Yeah? I know. Now, Jacob had that all the time. And can you imagine, sometimes Jacob might have woken up in the middle of the night thinking about Esau going, oh! Esau's gonna kill me. Did you know that unforgiveness is an awful thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now, imagine you're Jacob. Your family is upset at you because they are. And so you have to leave because God told you to. But you gotta go back home, and the person back home said he's gonna kill you until you're dead. Ugh. Scary. Now this time, Jacob does something that's actually brave. What does he do?
He goes back home.
He goes back home. Now on his way, he sends some servants to tell Esau that it's coming, which it's always polite to call to let people know you're coming. In this case though, he couldn't call because did they have phones back then?
Nope.
So what he did is he sent some servants, which, if you're rich, you can send servants. That's an option. And then the servants come back and they're like, hey, we found Esau. And Jacob's like, cool. And then the servants are all like, and he's coming to meet you. And Jacob's like, that might be good. And he's bringing 400 men. And then Jacob's like,
Dun, dun, dun.
because you do not bring 400 men to meet someone if you're planning on having a dinner party. Jacob comes up with a plan. He gets a bunch of servants and hundreds of animals, and then he sends them in waves. So imagine you're gonna go meet someone and you're super angry at the person. You're like, oh, angry. And then you're walking to him, right? And then you get to a block, and then some guy stops. He's like, hey, are you Ellie? I have this phone for you. And they give you this super nice, awesome phone. And you're like, well, that's nice. And the person's like, Matthew's coming next. And then you see another person stops you, and you're like, hey, I have this earring set for you. And you're all like, lovely. And then they're like, Matthew's coming next. And you keep going. And then they're like, hey, here's this super awesome video game system for you. And then they're all like, Matthew's coming next. Now when you finally get to Matthew, what are you gonna do? Punch him in the face! No, you don't have to punch him in the face. Of all the ways to help someone get over being mad at you, giving them a bunch of gifts is a good way to start. What do you think?
Yeah.
The moment happens. Jacob meets Esau. Tension! Scariness! Stress! So much stress. And then Esau hugs Jacob. And then there's a kiss. Mwah!
Really?
And then there's crying. Oh, I miss you so much. Oh, I love you. Oh, why did you leave me? Oh, and all that buildup, and all those years of being scared. And then there's this reunion between brothers that's beautiful and full of love instead of violence. Did you know that moment makes me think of how we treat God sometimes? So sometimes we mess up, and then we run away. And then we're scared to come back to God because we think God's super upset and that he's gonna kill us with 400 men until we're dead. But did you know that God is always willing to forgive us? And he's always willing to forgive us because Jesus already paid the price for our sin. Isn't that nice? There is always forgiveness in Jesus. Ellie, can you say there's always forgiveness in Jesus?
There is always forgiveness in Jesus.
Yeah. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Bye. Bye, KidZone. Oh, goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Oh, goodbye.